Hey guys, we're going to go through how to fix a leaking bathroom faucet today. You may have a leak that's coming out of the faucet itself here, or you may actually have a leak that's coming out from around the handle here. Either way, this fix is going to help you. So the main thing and most important, you're going to want to make sure that you turn off all the water to the house. You're going to need to find the main valve and shut that off. To do this job, or especially hire, it's going to cost quite a bit. If you do it yourself, you can save quite a bit of money. You're going to need pretty much two tools. The first one's going to be an Allen wrench right here, and that's going to go behind the handle, and that's going to loosen your set screw. The one thing I'd recommend is make sure you get the biggest side that's going to fit in there. You may not be able to see the actual head itself. If you put one in there that's too small and you wrench on that, you may strip out some of those threads, and then you're going to have to drill it out in order to get that off. The other one you're going to need is a pair of pliers here. If you can get yourself a large open plier, one of these, that's going to help you a lot, especially if you have any kind of grime or buildup on the shower itself, because some of this is going to be kind of locked in. So we've taken some of the stuff apart. I've already loosened this set screw. So the first thing you want to do is, after you get that loose, you're going to work this out and get your handle off. Okay, set that to the side and make sure you take a look, take a picture with your phone or whatever you need to do. Kind of look at the orientation of everything and all the pieces you're taking off. Keep them in order so that way you put everything back the way it is. That way your hot and cold works the way you want it to. Next, after your handle, you're going to have a set locker. This one's a kind of a washer style right here, and this is going to hold the valve behind it in place. You may have a spring-loaded one or like kind of like a wire clamp that you need to pull off around it. Just look at the one you have. A lot of times it might be like a U-shape. Just pull them off and set them to the side. That's this one. Okay. So next, you're going to want to loosen this cover here. This one is not threaded on this one. This is just a cover that's just sitting there. So I already loosened this up so we can pull this sleeve off. Okay. And you can see it has some extra pieces in here that moves around. So don't lose that. That's going to help. That's going to run the gears and keep traction when you're going to turn this thing on and off. Next is going to be your main screw. This is where your pliers are really going to come in handy. You'll be able to grab a hold of this, loosen this up. Once you do that, take that, spin it off. Next is the main valve itself. You might have two of them, one of the two most common valves. One is going to be where you pull this out and you're going to see two little valves openings here with some springs and some gaskets. Or you may have a full self-contained unit, and I'll kind of explain the differences of both. This one's a full self-contained unit. So if you'll have some labels on them. This is my hot side, this is my cold side, from the way I had the handle sitting so I could get to that set screw. So this is open right now versus being closed. So that's why you want to make sure you take everything, how you take everything off is going to be how you put it on. Okay. So you're going to pull on this, work it side to side. There's some gaskets in here. It's kind of holding it in, and that is your unit. Okay. So this self-contained unit, you can buy this whole unit itself. They run about $40-50 at the big box store, depending on where you go. Or you can fix this yourself with some of the valves and springs, and it may only cost you a few bucks. I got a repair kit. I'll show you that repair kit. It's only about $5. This is the last piece that comes off. So if you have the other ones that's not self-contained, when you pull this piece off here, you're going to have two open valves that you'll be able to see through the middle of this. But on this one, it's right inside here. Now, if you do not have that self-contained unit, once you pull that centerpiece out, this is what you're going to see. Normally, you'll find a rubber gasket here, and you can kind of put either a flathead screwdriver or even one of these longer Allen wrenches, put it in the center there, and kind of angle it, pull it out. That rubber with the spring behind it, it's all going to fall out at one time. And then after that, your repair or install of these rubber gaskets are going to be the same. Now with the self-contained unit, you can see this one here. Again, you can buy this whole thing, but it's going to cost you $40-50. It's really simple to take apart. All you're going to do is, again, watch your markings, your hot side, your cold side, any kind of markings you have over here where it's going to guide in. So you're going to take a hold of that and just twist, and it's going to come apart. Okay? So you can see these rubber seals right here, and right behind those is the springs. So now if you did not have that self-contained unit, again, you would see this same style of install inside the actual head of the shower itself. Okay, so now we're going to take these out. These ones, you can pull them out with your fingers. But again, if you can't reach them, you're going to need to use a flathead screwdriver or even an Allen wrench. So the Allen wrench or screwdriver, you just put them in there like that, and they're going to pull right out. That's going to help you not lose anything. Then what you're going to want to do is get your repair kit. And I'll show you kind of the generic repair kit you'll find most often. This one is part number 86968 from Danco. This will fit a lot of your main Kohler, Delta brands, things like that. It's pretty universal, and they give you more than one size of spring in here. And you'll be able to look at the springs that are in here and match them up to the ones you have. Now, whether you have the self-contained unit or not, the install of the springs is going to be the same. So you're going to take your spring, and the main thing is the larger side of the spring is going to go inside or inside here. The narrower part is going to be up against the rubber grommet there, this little seal. Now, when you take these apart, a lot of times you'll see that the seal is broken and cracked, but if it actually like this one, and they look fine. But normally what happens is this spring itself just gets compressed over time. So when you're turning things off, it's not springing back open enough to close the valve inside here. So you're going to want to change the springs, even if it looks like the rubber grommet itself is still good. Even if it looks like it's good, still change that seal as well. It comes in the kit. Again, just match up the same size springs if you have a kit that has multiple sizes, make sure you use the same size spring and the same size grommet. So we're going to stick this in here, just like that. Okay, and now we'll reassemble. So on this self-contained unit, you're going to need to put this back together. So when we had it, I'm going to line up my marks again. The hot side was facing me right here. Just like that. See, and I can even feel it when I try to put this back together. I have to push that together a little bit harder before it would let me twist it. So those springs are definitely different than the other ones. And now you're just going to go in reverse. So you're going to put this self-contained unit in first. And on this one, you're going to have to push kind of hard. Okay. Okay, now that we have that one fully seated, we're going to continue on putting in the rest of the parts. So here's my other valve set. Again, this is where I had it lined up before. This is the main screw that's going to hold everything in place. So I'm going to give this just a little bit of a snug on there, just so it doesn't go anywhere. Okay. Now we're going to add our sleeve back. Set that back on. And on this model, that just slides in. So in the other models, that's going to be what your actual set is right there. That's going to be the part that you unscrew or screw back on. Is going to hold it in. Okay. So now to hold this, to keep this from moving forward, have a little punch out right here, and that's what this is holding back. And that is so it doesn't move. Okay. Now we're going to put our main handle on. Again, mine was facing this direction. And you just got to work it on there. Okay. That's it. Last piece, you're going to take your set screw and your Allen wrench here, feed it in the back there, and tighten it down. Now that we're finished, we have the water back on. We ran this and tested it out. Now we have no more leak. Everything's working great. Appreciate the support. Please like and subscribe.